Greeting YouTube, family, friends, and survivors. Well, we got 14 3/8 inches of rain in 11 days. And now the pond is full. And I won't be watering the garden anymore. The broccoli will be self-watering from here on out. I came down to check the springs and switch over to our winter spring. I have been bypassing the summer springs for the last week, and we've been running on stored water and let the springs flush out really good. When you get 14 inches of rain, it does affect the springs. Now the springs are true spring because in a drought year it never gets lower than a certain point. Year in, year out, it's always exactly the same. But somewhere, rain does affect it, somewhere up on the mountain. Now, it can't be here because the springs are all 17 feet deep. So there's no surface water here that's getting into it, but somewhere up on the mountain there is. I'll show you how I test it. That L and that L right there are our two upper springs that are 17 feet deep. And what they are is a perforated pipe, 1.5 inches. No, it's a 2-inch perforated pipe. And it's backfilled with 2-inch rock. And it's 17 feet deep. They're 60 some feet long. And it works like a reverse leach field. Instead of putting water out into the strata, it's collecting water above the blue clay layer that's almost exactly 17 feet deep in this whole area. All the way to the bottom. There's a blue clay flow. And water goes down to that blue clay and it can't go through it, so it runs on the surface of that blue clay. Well, our springs are right on top of the blue clay, holes facing up in the pipe, and then backfilled with 3 feet of 2-inch rock. And they're 65 plus feet long. Right now I've got these bypassed so they're not going into the tank. And I'll show you what the water looks like after 14 inches of rain. This white hand core pipe is the one that the water comes out of when the tank is full. And I've had these springs bypassing all week long, so the tank is low. That's drinkable. You can wash your clothes in it. It tastes good, but it's a little cloudy. So I just bypass it. By tomorrow it'll be crystal clear. But I bypass these springs all winter. I don't need this much water. I'll show you what I do. I use this spring right here is the one I use all winter. There's another spring, right here. I'll find that one for you. I don't need it either. This one's plenty of water. You could probably run a small community on that. So this is the spring that I think is consistently the clearest in heavy, heavy rains. And you can get 20 inches of rain in 15 days around here. It doesn't happen, very often, but it does happen. Last year we had 31 inches in 1 month. Give you an idea of how much it can rain around here. So this one's running really clear. And it tastes good. It's not as clear as our summer springs are, but it's plenty good enough for what we need it for. Tastes good. We've been drinking it for 27 years. So what I'm going to do is close that valve now, and that goes right into this tank, 2,000 gallon concrete tank. I can hear the water going in the tank. The tank's got about 1,000 gallons left in it. So we've used about 1,000 gallons in 7 days, 2 households. So it's replenishing now. And again, when it gets full, it just runs out that 4-inch hand core pipe. So the upper springs are blocked here and here, and they're bypassed right here. These valves are open. So if this June, I'll close these two and open these two, and then we're on summer water. I do the same thing every year. It never changes. Just takes a few minutes to come down and do it. I thought about automating it at one time, but I'm kind of going the other direction. So that'll fill up rather shortly. It'll be full here in an hour probably. And I'll just let this guy just bypass till June. Heard some Canadians come in. I meant to get a video of it. If you remember my late summer videos, you could see hydrilla blossoms floating to the surface, and then you could see some moss floating in the water. And the Canadians came in, and in one evening, I've never seen more than 70 birds at a time. They've come in one evening and they eat all of it, and then they leave, and it clears out my pond, clears all the hydrilla out every year. I really appreciate that. I know the Canadians probably taste good, but since we have the same pair come back every single year, and then they nest right behind me, behind the house here, the well house, and they take turns sitting on the eggs. And then, early summer, late spring, they get up with their goslings and they walk to the lake, which is a quarter of a mile that way. And knowing that they mate for life, I just not really into eating them for that reason. If I was hungry, no doubt. Never been hungry enough, really. Now I need to go over and check the dam and make sure I don't have any vegetation blocking it. I almost lost the dam one year. We were keeping our logs in the water, keeping them wet for the sawmill. And the moorings broke loose on one, and it went straight across, sideways across the face of the spillway. And water was running over the surface of the whole top of the dam. And I heard it before sunup, this just incredible white water noise, and I go, how could the creek be that big? And I came down here, and about an inch of water was going over the top of the whole dam. So we grabbed the winch and snaked that log out of there, and I've never kept logs in the pond since. We just keep them decked here and keep a sprinkler on them 365 days a year. That way the logs are fresh when you're ready to mill them. So let's go check the dam. See our resident does. Counted 9 of them this morning. There's some more of them up here. Hello, ladies. Well, I can hear breaking over the spillway. The blackberries have taken over my boat. Yeah, it looks like it's flowing pretty easy. Spillway got some new timbers this year. I know, I think the same thing. How come I'm not getting the hydro ready? This is just the first rain of the year. Well, probably because I'm lazy. Well, that's how we switch the springs over. And come down and check and make sure everything's in order down here. Now I won't have to do it again, for 3 or 4 months, and then I'll come down and check it all again and make sure everything's in good shape. So, have a very, very blessed day. I am.